Yeah, certainly. Yeah, yes. Yeah. Okay.
Good morning to all the participants present here. I welcome you all to the third day of this webinar series on biotechnology concepts to practice. Today we have a speaker from Canada, Dr. Thomas Jacob, who will be talking on environmental management and bioremediation. Before which I would like to introduce the speaker. Dr. Thomas Jacob is an environmental consultant in Saskatchewan, Canada. He did his PhD in Annamalai University. He had also been an environmental consultant in GEO Resources Consultancy and Amazon Engineering Consultancy, Muscat. He has been an aquatic animal biologist, international petroleum development and expertise in Muscat. Also, he has served as a lecturer in environmental science for a short period of time in St. Berkman's College, Kerala. So, with a good number of papers to his publication list, he is an expert in environmental impact assessment, workplace hazardous materials information system, ISO 14000 environmental management system, international general certificate in occupational safety and health, and oil spill response. Uh, with this a short introduction, I would like to welcome today's speaker. Over to you, sir.
Okay. Hi. Nice. Good morning to everybody. So I would like to say special thanks to Dr. Ramesh Kumar, the convener, and Dr. Maslamani Selvam, is my colleague, and the other organizing secretaries of the program. So am I audible, sir? Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
sir,
sir.
Am
you
I?
are
Yes, sir.
audible. You
Yep.
raise your voice little bit, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I would like to thank everybody and have a very good morning to everybody. Dr. Ramesh, Dr. Maslamani, and the other conveners of the webinar. Yeah, straight away, I would like to. No, I'm not a big expert in this environmental management, but I would like to share a few things based on my employment in Muscat, Oman. So how we try to manage our environment based on this petroleum projects and also this construction and development projects there. Yeah. So basically, this environmental management, it comes under ISO, means International Standards Organization. It's called ISO 14001. So they have rescheduled that in 2005, and earlier it was, yeah, before that, they have come across and comprising all these into newer form in 2005. So it is an important requirement for almost all the environmental projects, including the industrial projects, then construction projects, then oil and gas field projects. So there should be some of the requirements for this ISO 14000. So what exactly is environmental management system? If any company or an organization has their EMS, so they will be in total control and regarding the safety, health, and environmental management. It's called HSE, health, safety, and environment. So, so first of all, they should have an environmental policy. Any organization like that. Yeah, and the second one is they have to identify all the environmental aspects. Aspects means they have air pollution may be the factors, then water pollution, then noise may be there, like that. Different. They are called environmental aspects basically. And based on the aspects, they have environmental impacts. For example, is some of the cement industry, the simple environmental aspect is the dust pollution. And the environmental impact will be dust will be causing turbidity in the waters, and also they are filling the lung cavities of the personnel or people and animals in the vicinities there. So that is the environmental impact. So aspect is the dust emissions, and the impact is the health consequences that is caused due to that. Yeah. And the next requirement is there's establishment of a relevant legal and regulatory requirements there. We have to comply with the rules and regulations of any country. Then, then the development and maintenance of environmental objectives and targets. Which the company has their own objectives, their targets to achieve, like any company they have. Yeah. Next one, implementation of a documented system. That means we have to document, you have to put in the form of writing there, like performance monitoring reports and also the EIA reports. I will discuss in details about EIA. You might have, everybody know about what an EIA is, Environmental Impact Assessment Report. So then there are elements of training and operational controls and dealing with emergencies. So then monitoring and measurement of operational activities, then internal auditing, then management reviews. So all these together make a sum total of the whole ISO 14000 environment. So most of the people think like that it's an it's a headache like that, and they try to not to do this environmental management system. They try to escape from this, but that will result in, you know, we can tell a collapse of the company. So probably it should not happen with any other system. So as per, World Bank protocol tells you have to spend 1% of the total capital cost for doing the environmental management system. So this is in the form of environmental monitoring, then environmental impact assessment reports like that. So let's go to the next slide. So ISO 14001 defines environmental impact as any change to the environment, whether it is adverse or beneficial, or both positive and negative impacts, and wholly or partly resulting from an organization's activities, products, or services. Anything to the environment that is positive and negative. Then the spirit of ISO 14000, that means we have to concise it, we have to make it short and condense it, the ISO 14000 into one sentence. It can be called, what is a standard? Any company requires, it's a control and reduce the impacts on the environment. That's very simple. So I basically speak on this my experience regarding Oman. So it's better if you get an idea about what Oman is. So this slide that tells, I think the slide is audible. Can you see the slide, everybody? Okay. Yeah. So this is regarding Oman. It's one of the Middle East countries there. It's near UAE and Saudi Arabia there, and so it has the hot climates there, and there's a Strait of Hormuz there nearby. Strait of Hormuz, which opens into the Arabian Gulf, through which most of the oil transport of the world that happens to and fro. This is alternative for a map there, and you can see the white color, that's Oman. And India, our Gujarat is closer to Oman in our west coast. Then I'll tell you, it has a diverse form of environment, and so it's a brief. So it has a wilderness of lots of deserts there, sand dunes there, then petroleum rigs, wells and refineries, industrial clusters. They have free zones there. That means Chennai, we have the zones there. Then sun beaches, lagoons, backwaters, lush green. Then underground caves are also there of geological importance, and the ancient archaeological tombs and historical sites there. Then they have temporary wadis. Wadis mean mountain streams that happens in monsoon there, and they have dams as well. Then turtle nesting grounds, date palms, snorkeling, with a few. So and migratory birds, they visit their Oman. Then turtle nesting grounds are also there, camels and horse farms, and frankincense farms. So it's a wide variety of environment. So the government is trying to protect this environment. So some of the coral reefs, I have a few photographs of this. We'll go quickly. Then some cormorants in there, a particular group of islands called Musandam Islands there. You can see the picture. Then you can see the nice merging of the sea with the mountain ranges. You can see lots of mountains there, high-rise mountains there. And this is the Wadi Al Hokain, some of the few. It's very nice scenic places there. So during rainy seasons, you will have quick waterfalls from that mountains. So mostly the industrial projects, they belong to group 1 there. That means in Oman. So like that, in India, we have these different projects. They have different classifications of the project. You can see a lot of chemical and petrochemical, then oil and gas, all belong to group 1 there. And group 5, I think my memory is correct. Group 5 is a tourism projects like that, and medical projects in group 6 like that. So basically this EMS, that means environmental management system, leads to EIA. So I will tell you briefly how an EIA is done there. So you can suggest me while going through this Yeah, I have to speed up some of the slides so you can suggest also in between. Dr. Maslavani and Dr. Ramesh, are you hearing me? Okay. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We
Yeah.
hear you.
Okay. Okay. So yeah. So environmental impact assessment. So these are. So I mainly this discusses EIA based on two kinds of projects. One is the oil and gas and the tourism. I think first I will go to tourism projects. This is one of the projects which I have been part of. This is called Salala. It's in the southern part of Oman, 1,000 kilometers away from the capital, Muscat there. So you will have it's a varied kind of climate there. It's a very hot country there, and so during there is a hot summer is June, July, and August there. During that time in Salala, there is a our southwest monsoon causes the spillover rain there, and there will be mountains become green and everything. That's a funny aspect there. So most of the visitors come there. So this was a tourism project in Salala. So that's now in operation there. That happened sometime in 2000, I don't know, 2010 or something. It finished and like that. Yep. So what's an EIA definition? EIA is a systematic study of an area. Sir, one second. How can I minimize this your screen? I can't see this on the right side of this. Can I minimize this to?
No, sir.
Yeah,
If you want to show something else, sir.
yeah. I can't see that on the right side of my PPT. Yeah. Can I minimize? Yeah,
You
I
can.
think it's done. Almost minimized. Yeah.
Yeah.
अरे the sound ఆపండి మళ్ళీ
But we will not be able to see that.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Yeah. No, it's okay. Yeah.
No, we are seeing that what is an EIA definition. That slide alone
Okay.
we'll be able to see.
Yes, yes, yes.
You have
Sorry.
to
Yeah, okay.
you have to share
I,
again.
I'm sorry.
You have
Oh,
to
you can't
share
see.
again. Now we can see the environmental
Oh,
permit
sorry.
license and approval sample.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm clicking somewhere else. One second. It goes to somewhere else. I can't. I'm using the Zoom for the first time, and, and
Okay, sir.
that's a problem. Sorry for that. Okay.
That's okay.
So there is a screen in front of me. How can I get rid of the screen? That shows all the files there.
No, sir. We are not able to see that. We are able to see only the EIA table of contents tourism project. That slide.
Okay. Yeah, it's okay. Can you see that one? Yeah.
Maybe you
Yeah.
can share
Sorry.
screen again. Yeah,
Yeah.
now it's what is
Now
an
it's okay.
EAA
Yeah, yeah.
definition.
Back
Yes,
to
sir.
the EIA definition. So now, this is an important definition of the EIA. This is a systematic study of an area proposed for development or related impacts that provide the basis for the prediction of impacts. That means it's a scientific study, systematic study about the development, any development, a chemical project or a tourism project or whatever may be the likes. So there's an area setting maybe there, and there's a system that follows there. So in Oman, we followed the World Bank protocol, but in Canada, we have a different protocol here. It's no way it's connected with that World Bank protocol there. So I have to follow this protocol if I want to follow, if I want to get a job in this full stream environmental here. Oh, so this prediction, if it is for the prediction of impacts, for we told earlier, it is adverse and beneficial, positive and negative. So we don't stop any project because of this negative impacts, but they balance these impacts. So moreover, there will be positive impacts like economic development, then lots of jobs for the people, then agricultural developments, then welfare of the communities and level like that. So mostly the positive impacts will be there. Then the purpose of the EIA. The purpose of the EIA is to determine the proposed project's potential environmental and social impacts and identify the mitigation and will conform to the Ministry of Environment and Climate Affairs guidelines on EIA. So the name of the ministry there is MECA, Ministry of Environment and Climate Affairs, like that. So it will be different in different countries like that. So the main purpose is to identify the impacts and to identify the mitigation. Mitigation means dust. For example, dust is the impact. And what is the mitigation? How to control the dust with the help of organizational procedures or installation of new equipment, something like that. We will discuss that in detail. And what is the outcome? So if this ministry is satisfied the MECA means ministry, that the potential environmental impacts from the implementation of the proposal can be managed to meet the requirements. Then finally you will get a permit or license or approval. So like that in India also, we have a long process there. What I have seen in when I was working in 2 consulting companies in India, after leaving Muscat, then I have seen it's a long process, more than 1 year. It takes 1 year, depending on the category projects. So A category projects and B category projects. A category projects mostly oil and gas projects, I understand, and very big projects like that, mining projects also, I think so. And B category projects, the other chemical projects and all like that. So, but in Oman, they don't have that A, B category. They have a different classification there. Then this is written in Arabic because it's in Oman, but India we will get in. So it's a fake just to show like that this permit. So once they get the permit, they have to keep this permit and they have to. There will be certain conditions. So I just go through quickly. Sorry, I will of the conditions later. So this is the table of contents, mostly the EIA projects like that. First will be the executive committee, like that we present our thesis like that. So basically the EIA is a very comprehensive report. That means it's a sum total of everything about the project. What is the water quantity they are used, how much power they use for the project, then what are the impacts, what are the key impacts or key aspects there. That means what are the key, potential environmental impacts there. Then how do you mitigate that impacts there? So like that, and site selection parameters there. We will go one by one like this. It's a very brief then. Executive summary, then project overview, about the project descriptions there, then purpose of the EIA, then report scope, structure and methodology. That means how this report is submitted there in 1.5. What is the structure of this report? It's written there. Then description of the proposal, what exactly is, what are the elements of the proposal. So this, since this is a tourism project, it requires all the marina, residences and like that. So there will be buffer zones, that marine, there will be buffer zones. For example, you have coastal regulation zones there. Within that follow certain 500 meter, I don't know, in India there. Within that, no construction is allowed, including aqua farms like that. So different countries, they have different, yeah. Then servicing infrastructure requirements. Then the third one is, the infrastructure requirements include water, electricity, wastewater, stormwater and everything, yeah. And the third one, policy, legal and administrative framework. What is your, based on certain policy, what's the company's policy there? So it can be controlled through governmental regulations, then EIA requirements, what the government tells for the EIA, do that. So the companies must have to follow this. Otherwise, they will penalize for environmental violations there. In third world countries like US and Australia, then United States and all these, for the environmental offenses, they are getting a heavy fine there. But in Middle East and all these countries, they are okay like that. They are not getting very hefty fines there. And yeah, discussion of the existing environment. This is a detailed description of the environment. First one is human environment, all this population and everything. Then physical environment. It's a very broad: climate, geology, hydrology, hydrogeology, bathymetry, and seafloor. Then the next one is biological environments, terrestrial. That means plants, flora, fauna, and everything. Birds over there. Then last one is environmental factors. This is one of the main thing of the EIA. So there's the introduction there. Then so what are the important aspects of this, like marine and terrestrial flora, maybe their groundwater quality, hazardous and waste. So based on what are the important aspects pertaining to the project that we write here. And the 5.4 is a very, very, very important portion. That's the key environmental issues. So we will write down, there may be some 10, 11 issues maybe there, for example, one tourism project, but one or two may be the key environmental issues. We write about and we discuss all the environmental issues, and we highlight the key environmental issues and we discuss in detail about the key environmental issues. And the last one, there's a mega table. In that mega table, we will discuss how we manage that key environmental issues there. Then once the EIA is submitted there and is approved, then approval is not an easy process there. Then they will be asking, there's a question and answer session that will be there. And if public consultation is required, they will conduct the public consultation. India is there, that's a public consultation. But in Oman, there's not much public consultation. Only if the village folk or somebody are in problem, about the gases emitted, for example, like some issues with the gases like that. For example, a mushroom farm, they have the smell coming there. So we have to do the odor assessment there and submit the report there in 200, in 1 kilometer side like that. I mean, within 1 kilometer like that. So this is the key environmental issues. It's a discussion there. So the structure is the same. First is objective, then baseline, then discussion of potential impacts, then proposed mitigation and commitments, and predicted outcome. That repeats with each parameter, each environmental impact like air quality, marine, and bathymetry, dust, or anything else. Yeah. And last one is environmental management. So we write EMS. Environmental is a management report. It's called EMP report also, environmental management plan there. That's very important. That's a living document. So once the EA is submitted and we got the environmental permit, that's not the end of it. So we have to every year, or once you have an added change there, we have to modify the environmental management document and submit to the ministry there. So it's a living document there, and the conclusions and finally there. Yeah. So the specific requirements, then we go to this in detail a little bit. So there will be, depending on the project, there will be specific requirement. That means the tourism projects, they require, coastal regulation zones, their buffer zones and coastal setbacks like that. So we have to abide by this. We means the company who is undertaking the activity there. So some reports there, HOK et al., there's some reference works there. So, and they are making a separate project within that project. For example, if they are making a desalination plant there in the tourism project or a wastewater treatment plant, they have to apply for a separate permit for that, not the main permit. They'll get the main permit for implementation and management of the whole project. But for small projects, they have to get separate permits. Then buffer zones, this shows different degrees. It shows in the center, you can see the hover. Hover means, that's the Arabic word, that means lagoon. So it's 50 meter, that is from there, different 75 meter, different names of the hovers there. And beach zone, 75 meter within that, highest high tide zone and so on. You should not have the activities like that. So we, the environmental consultants, we go and check that, are they digging or they are having any activities there, like that. These are the various environmental, water quality, and the RD means royal decree there, you can see about nature conservation. Then this is about marine management. They have lots of things there in Kuwait and all these countries there. Like that in India also we have coastal zone management regulations also there. Basically the thing is there, and it depends on this, the biotope and the with the weather conditions, the little bit, there will be changes in air quality and all these regulations there. And regarding solid waste management, air and noise management, we have separate regulations. Then significant marine flora and fauna. And this is just for awareness, I'm just telling. So marine fauna, 230 species of macroalgae, like that. And then upwellings have been noticed in Oman in 2008 when I have been there. And that, yeah,
green, brown, and red seaweeds have been reported from the region.
You're talking to me? Are you asking some questions there?
No, sir. Actually, it was a disturbance. Okay. I've cut them once. You can go.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for that. Okay, yeah. Okay.
Sorry for that.
Yeah, like that. We have histories of upwellings there. And then benthic communities include polychaetes and all these worms and the crustaceans there. Then marine mollusks we have. There's an interesting book there. You can see. I don't know. You can see the third one in the benthic communities. It was written by Bosch et al. He was a surgeon. He was a medical doctor who spent in Oman long time ago. And out of his interest, he collected lots of shells and he wrote this book. I was referring that book for identification of the marine invertebrates during the projects there. Then he have ghost crab there. That crab runs all through the beaches. We can see it's a very good crab there. Then plankton communities there, different documents, skeletonema and all this. That causes a bloom there, that algal blooms, that. Then different rich variety of fish species we have. Then different nets they are using, beach scenes and different pelagic finfish, sardines. So in Oman, the sardines are there because that belongs to the west coast there. Then offshore line trawling, different use. Tuna species are also there, yellowfin tuna and different fish species. Then They use the various fish traps also there. There's a rabbit fish that is Siganus, it's a very tasty fish. Then carnivorous fishes like grouper. Probably you might have known about this, some of the people. Yeah. And these are it's an exhaustive list of major species observed or caught in the beaches of Oman. Then turtles, they have two important turtles there. Salalah, that's the southern region, which I mentioned earlier. That's Kharif means there's a monsoon season there. In that monsoon season, mostly algal and seaweed growth there. There is lots of seagrasses, seaweeds. Then plankton blooms there. Then two important species of turtles you can see in the middle, loggerhead turtle and green turtle. They have turtle nesting grounds in Salalah. And then about 500 fresh nests with a nest density of over one nest per meter square were observed in October 2000 in there. So they have various means of conservation for this turtle nesting. So any tourism projects, they have to take care of these turtle nesting grounds there, and any archaeological site is there, the ministry will come and put an enclosure there, and they have to put a photo, and we consultants, we go and check there any disturbance to that system there. That is the environmental protection. Then cetaceans, that means marine mammals, we have whales and dolphins. Common bottlenose dolphins are there. Yep. Then all the important birds we have, herons, to mention a few of them, gulls. Then there are lots of things. I'm not familiar with all of these. I'm not a bird specialist. And in the center, you can see comprehensive list of birds of Oman in the Arabian Gulf. That's there, www.birdsofoman.com. You'll get it. Then water birds, like that, lagoons. Then, so I told earlier, this is the environmental permit there. And the permit is, once you get the permit, there will be conditions there. So these are the different permits. You are supposed to do like this, and you are not supposed to do like this. See, for example, you can see at least the boldings, the bold words, disposal of any leftover mentioned there, any hazardous waste there, and you have to abide by the noise regulations. There is a separate noise regulations for the public environment and also for the work environment there. I will show you this later. And there's a monthly report we have to that should go to the ministry after doing the environmental monitoring comprising of air quality, water quality, then noise monitoring, like that. Then so it kind of 30, 35, about conditions like that. If there is a beach sanctuaries there or marine sanctuaries there, that condition will pop up there. And drainage of there's a drainage treatment plant there, sorry, sewage treatment plant there, about that there's a condition there. So you have to take the sample and analyze the sample there, wastewater treatment, and submit to the ministry there. That's called performance evaluation report there. Yeah, and finally you have to 1.9 environmental management plan there. We talked about that. So it's a living document, and we have to update this from time to time. Then finally, the qualified environmental expert or manager have to be appointed by the company. So that's why we people get the jobs there. We will be appointed by these people there, some of them. So it's part of them. There will be safety expert will be there, and this environmental manager, they'll take care of all the environmental, aspects and EMS of that project site. And he will be the mediator between the ministry and the company and the environmental consultant. So we are also in between them, and we will help them save the environment and for their uplift of their performance. So like that, different conditions there. It's an exhaustive list of there. Then in the middle, you can see the air quality regarding carbon monoxide, oxides of nitrogen, and everything reports. And if they have fugitive emissions, like the fugitive emissions is escape emissions there. So for example, in the cement industry, you'll have lots of emissions. That's called fugitive emissions. So they have to control that by means of some suction controls like that. So these things, they have to, time to time, they submit some environmental improvement plan also. So this list goes like this, very exhaustive. So I'm just skipping the slides there. Then regarding soil also, some of the information. If there is any spillage there, they have to manage that by tying the spillage with sand, and they have to remove that to a known, this is it should not percolate down the soil. So it's called impervious layer or impermeable layer must be there. So that's a dedicated hazardous waste storage area. And this waste must go to their treatment place, or they have to do some other means by which it can be convertible to the other ways like that. So they have to give the report about that. There will be auditing there also there. The auditor will come and check that and give a report also side by side. And they have to clear any ecological pollution there at their own expenses there. So ministry, there will be ministry visit from time to time there. They will come under disguise also there, and they have informed visits and also sudden visits also will be there. So these are the last one is hazardous solid waste disposal management. So everything, each aspect of management is abide by the separate regulation there. There will be number there. Like that, we have Water Act in India, 1974, and the Air Act, they have 70 or 75. So like that, depending on each country, they have their own protective measures, and it's called regulatory controls through laws. And they are not supposed to relocate the project to another site without informing the ministry there. They're not supposed to do that. And in case of any change there, they have to communicate that to the ministry there. And the last one, ministry may add or amend any comment, any of their conditions there. So basically, this environmental management is done through EIA, then environmental monitoring, then environmental auditing, and environmental management plan reports there. So you will get an idea of environmental auditing. Probably you all know this, what's an environmental monitoring is. Basically, we are measuring the various parameters of the environment in compliance with the regulations pertaining to different aspects pertaining to the project there. So basically, these are the machines we use there. So I just prepared. So various industries also use their own equipment, and companies use their own equipment. We use the ETL 3000. That's for air quality meter. That gives various parameters like oxides of nitrogen, carbon monoxide, then benzene, that means hydrocarbons there, and sulfur dioxide also there. We can increase. In the left side, you can see that like cylindrical structures, these are the sensors there. We can add on the sensors and remove the sensors there. So they will be put inside for 24 hours, and we'll collect the data at the end. So this is the weather station also there. They have the solar power. Sorry, this is solar powered there. And you can, where there is no power supplies there. In the middle of the desert, sometimes we feel difficulty there. But there will be labor camps there. So when we go there, we live with them, and we put the machine there, and we carry our battery there, like our truck battery, our lorry battery there. So that battery is a 12-volt battery. That is sufficient for running for 24 hours there for this meter. Then the solar powered photovoltaic module is also available. Air quality monitor is installed. So where you install this? So suppose if the project site is here, we have to install the machine in the downwind, minimum 100 meters in the downwind. So because the wind will carry the pollutants emanated from the industry to your, so the machine will read. There's no point if you are putting the upwind direction. It should be in the downwind. So minimum 100 meters, 100 to 400 meters in the downwind. This is still a complicated machine there. It has more parameters than, it's called AQM60. That's the United States Environmental Protection Agency, US EPA method, AQM60 based equipment. That's called AQM, air quality management. Sorry, air quality monitor. So this is very, everybody knows this. So the wind direction sensors in 360-degree, 0 to, then wind speed sensors from 0 to 60 meters per second. They have a low detection limit of 0.25 meters per second. And this is a noise monitoring. It's a French meter. It was made in France. There's sound level meter. There will be various meters there. There will be indigenous machines also there. So the noise level is mainly recorded as LEQdB. dB means decibels, and A weighting is given there. A weighting is given for the noise that can be heard by the human ear. So LEQ means equivalent noise level. So
Hello.
So you, sorry, yes. Yeah, somebody is speaking to me. Hello. Can I continue?
Yes, sir. You can proceed.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so this equivalent noise level is there. It is measured in LEQAB. For example, the normal audible level is 20 decibel from there. We can hear from there, and about, airports and all these blasting sites and all these 110, 120. I have seen all these sites there. So that is very hazardous, harmful for the ears. So this is for this. You can see at the bottom, as per the MD means ministerial decision. The noise level which an employee working in any workshop or worksite is exposed to shall be 85 decibels, not more than 85 decibels. And 5 increments will be given there. It can be up to 90. If it reaches 90, it should be with ear. You have to use the ear plugs there, or the ear muffs like this, or ear plugs there. But 85 without the ear plugs, but it's not good for longer periods. So it's depend on the duration of exposure. Not only this, the noise peaks there, you will get it, but also the duration of exposure. See, for example, one employee is exposed to a compressor there. He is working in the compressor 1 hour in a day. He's near the compressor, some jobs, some repairing or some job there, and that he is exposed to 1 hour only there, but that is high pitch. Another employee that is exposing for longer periods of time, so he will be more, he will be in trouble more than the first person like that. So duration exposure, we have to consider that. So these are the various noise limits, like based on the ministry for the public environment. You can see from there, for the rural areas, from the work days, that means Monday to Friday, for example, 45 decibel is allowed. B class categories, evenings it will be lesser, 40, and the holidays nights will be 35 is allowed. And urban residential like that. And at the bottom, you can see industrial and commercial 70. That means, do you know what is 70? 70 means the industry inside the work site, there will be, if you put the machine, there will be 85, must be 85. With the earphone, earplug, it will be 90. But what is this 70? 70 means this industry is allowed to throw only 70 decibel to its fence line. You got it? From the fence line of the industry, any person standing in the fence. That means we will go there, we will measure at site, within the site, in different points, north, east, west, south. Then we will go to different corners, and that fence line reading should not be more than 70 decibel. And if it is more than 70, like that, they have to do some performance improvement like that. They have to put enclosures, for example, enclosures for the generator. For example, I'm telling like that. Or all the time, PPE means personal protective equipment like this should be there, must be worn there. Otherwise, and periodical medical checkup, either your hearing aids checking. Otherwise, noise-induced hearing loss is NIL will happen there. So this is the noise meter. You can see that Salala project there while I was working with. You can see on the top that date palm trees are there. You know what is this? Date palm trees are transferred from some other location there. I have seen only this tree when it's transferred, this, when this adult tree is transferred like our palm tree like that, no? It's okay, no problem. In this they'll flourish there. And you see in the middle there, that's a noise meter there. And you can see the excavator. No, sorry, this something is working there. Some groundbreaking instrument there working there in front. So that machine is reading that. It's a noise monitor. Then this is one of my friend. He's an Omani there, and he's working in a petroleum company there. His name is Khalid, and he worked with me. And he is measuring the noise monitoring in a petroleum company from a gas plant site. And that you can see the compressor, the big noise from the compressor. And what is written there? So where do you stand? Where and there is a formula there. It's not a formula. It's a simple. You should not go too much closer to the equipment, because you are not going closer to the equipment like this. You have to stand. It should be 1.5 meter from the outer surface of the equipment, and it should be mostly your ear level, because you are hearing with your ear. See, what he's doing is wrong. So I want to just show you that he's putting at his middle level, but it has to be more or less near to his ear level. Then only the correct measurement will be there. But there will be combined noises from other equipment also there, that we will consider in noise modeling. But simple noise measurement, this is okay. This is a dust meter. It's an Australian machine, and it's basically they are measuring the. I think you all know this, but your engineers mostly know. I'm not an engineer, but yeah. But this is called PM10 measurements. PM10 means particulate matter up to the size of 10 microns. So all up to the below the size of 10 microns. 1 micron is 1 millimeter divided by 1,000. Yeah. So this is the smallest particle there. Sorry, there's PM 2.5 is also there, and PM10 measurement. That is mostly they measure this. So this machine is dust track. It's an aerosol monitor. So the particles are measured. It's a battery operated laser photometer. You know what is that better than me? And that is also installed 24 hours at site, 100 to 400 meter downwind the facility, and it records the particles up to 10 micrometer there. And there will be higher particles also there up to 50 microns. These, what happens is 50 microns particles, they will settle down, and these will be in suspension there. They will suspension and they will slowly get settle down, and that you will get finally the deposited dust. But these particles in suspension will be of problem to us. So that's called total suspended particulate matter, TSPM. So that goes to our nostrils there, then it will be captured by our airway there, and there is dust dosimetry is also there. Dosimetry is that, you know, in your waistband or in your belt, the meter is there, and with a tube there that is attached to your near to nose there, and the machine pumps there. It sucks a known volume of air into that, so it has the same respiratory rate like our lungs are having there. That means it's different from person to person there, but average, it has the same suction capacity. Then only the reading will be the same, no? Noise dosimetry. So that noise dosimetry will be given for 8 hours shift to a different person. Suppose if I am working for 8 hours in a cement factory there, so I will carry this noise dosimetry 1 full hour shift there. So the machine will record that. So it will tell you exactly how much quantity of dust that is impregnated or how much I absorb into my lungs there. And based on this one, and they have filter paper in that. I have done once this. I don't remember how it's done there. And they weigh that filter paper there, taking the weight of that filter paper, and they'll measure that, and they send that filter paper to analysis in the lab there and give the report. And based on the findings there, they will decide what exactly further mitigation measures should be implemented or not. So this is the readings, the 24-hour readings. You can see the fluctuations of readings there. The PM10, right? It's a petroleum site there. And this report will go to ministry. The next one, combustion or emissions gas monitor. Same thing. We have to check basically the same. We do the smoke emissions in India there. The car smoke emissions is the same thing. So different parameters analysis: carbon monoxide, CO. On the right side, you can see oxygen, nitrogen dioxide, then sulfur dioxide, then hydrogen sulfide, then you have hydrocarbons like CXX6, maybe benzene, like that. So depending on the industry, then carbon dioxide also there. So you have to go up the stack there. That means a chimney. Then you can take the readings there with this. It's a UK machine. It's called Lancom, LANCOM, land combustion. So this is the machine. There's a printable. You can see the printable results there in that. And so the probe is there. The probe is inserted into the chimney, and so it's a smart instrument like that. I like this instrument very much. I have done so many measurements with this instrument. Then is the groundwater or surface water monitoring. It's called HydroLab Quanta. It's a multi-parameter, and you can see the water quality. And you can put this into the wells as well. Also, you can use in the rivers or lagoons there or estuaries. So it will give depth, temperature, pH, TDS, total dissolved solids, then dissolved oxygen, specific conductance, then salinity and turbidity there. You can see the machines, their readings there straight away. And at the bottom, you can see that's a probe. That probe is put there. It's around 15 meters, I think. The wire is connected to the machine, so about 15 meters of depth like that. So another one is that it will not work in 0.5 meter and like, because the turbidity, it will interfere with that. So that's the drawback of this. See, for the bot is moving there and we are putting there, and if the machine touches at the bottom, if the water is turbid, it won't work. Then this is the water supply well for the drill rig. In petroleum company, they do the drilling of this oil. Then they have a well like this. DP means Dalil Petroleum number 10 oil. So number 10 well number, and it is locked there, and we have to go there, open there, and we do the sampling there. It's a water supply well. So this well, so you imagine that's mostly the salinity is behind. There is fresh water in the Arab countries like that. So even though it's decreasing, it's a desert. You can see that. So it's in the middle of the desert. Sometimes we are searching for these wells. Where are they? Because they will be covered with sand dunes. Next month when we come for a report, it will be covered sometimes. So, and sometimes it is not approachable, even though this car, it's a four-wheel drive car, they can't also even go there because of the long sand dunes there. It's fluctuating. So, so this, they will supply the water to the drilling. So we have to supply this to the, we have to put water into the drill, and the mud will be sucked separately there. So then this is our water, our car and all the system there. They are the well purging. It's a groundwater monitoring there. So this well is different from the previous well. In the previous well, that is supplying water well. So this one is the groundwater monitoring well. You see there some industries there. No, it's not an industry. It's a petroleum company there. So in case of any leakage there, they have a water holding pond there. That's the evaporation water there. That means, I will tell you in a simple example like that. The crude oil within the earth, it's a mixture of oil, water, and gas. The gases may be hydrogen sulfide or the noxious gases, hydrogen sulfide or sulfur dioxide, like that, the nasty smelling gas. So it's oil, water, and gas. So what they will do, they will separate these three: oil, water, and crude oil. Crude oil could go to refinery or for further refinery for further processing, or selling there crude oil. Then so in Oman, they send it to our west coast there, Gujarat, Kochi, etc., different places there. And so they will separate this oil first, then water there. This water they hold in some ponds there. This pond is aligned with tarpaulin there, and that is welded there. It is welded, joints are welded there, big tarpaulin sheets there, and we are checking any leakages there. Suppose any leakage comes there, this water, that's called produced water. This produced water is held in the in the pond there, and in case of any leakage there, that water will join the groundwater, and that causes problem. So this is the monitoring well for that. So this well will monitor what we monitor there: a suite of 8 heavy metals like cadmium, nickel, cobalt, mercury, and all these, copper also. They're carcinogens. You know that, no? They'll cause cancer if that water is drunk. Then total petroleum hydrocarbons. These include gasoline range, diesel range, and heavy fractions. Heavy fractions like grease and all these. So any of the hydrocarbons like these three ranges will be in the water, that will be depicted there. So we will collect this. First, see the water is flowing there. You can see that. So first, there's a calculation there. I forgot that calculation now. Based on that diameter of that, maybe, you know, the diameter maybe this half feet like that, maybe diameter, and it will be 20-meter depth well. So based on that, there's pi r square h, one calculation there, how much water we need to purge out. First we go there, we are not directly picking the sample, because you know why? Because the environmental contaminants will be joining at the surface water. It's contaminated there. We don't want that. We want to purge that top portion, what water is there. So we will purge out. So that means simply we are pumping that water out for 10 minutes or something. For example, this well number is that it's already established how much time we need to pump out there. It's already based on the pump test. They'll do, the hydrogeologist will do the pump test. So it is it's understood like that. So we'll purge out the water, then we will collect the sample in the bottles provided by the lab. We are not supposed to touch the inside of the lids there, so that contamination will be there. So then it will be sent to the lab within 24 hours there. So to reach the lab there, and we'll get within 1 week the results there, the metals and the petroleum hydrocarbons. Then next monitoring is volatile organic carbon. That is also very, very dangerous for our, in the petroleum companies, mostly the VOCs, that is volatile. That means they are vaporized like alcohol, like that. So they include gaseous emissions like carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, ammonia, and volatile organic carbons from petroleums. So they will be detected using a photoionization detector. It's a based on the technology there. PID. It's a gas alert. It's a small instrument we can clip on there in your pocket there. So it has Honeywell Canada. This is equipment is used there. I think it's also available in India also there. Honeywell, that company. Then so it has the following parameters like this, and the measuring range you can see, hydrogen sulfide, and all these parameters you can see there. And you know what happens with this petroleum industry? Mostly the sulfur there. You see in diesel, the level of sulfur will be comparatively higher, but in petrol, here we call it gasoline, gas, then it's comparatively lower there. But natural gas, it's very, very low there. So we suggest the industries to use the natural gas instead of, diesel or other form of combustion such as fuel there. So natural gas is because the sulfur level is low. If the sulfur is high, this sulfur emits out, and what happens? It will join with the oxygen that causes sulfur dioxide, and that is very, very deadly for our lungs. And if you talk on the health and safety, then it's very simple there. You can see some chemicals there, then fire extinguishers there, and this flammable liquid exposure. So in any industry, you will be, suppose whether it's a construction site or it's a chemical industry or any other medical projects or it's a hospital there, we in our day-to-day lives are always exposed to the chemicals there. For example, our body is also made of chemicals, and every day soap is also chemical there, and our dishwasher liquid is also chemical there. So the various effects and their overexposures and there are control there, and that inhalation that causes this irritation to respiratory passages like nausea, headaches, and all these situations there. Then what are the precautions? There will be three main routes. We can summarize these chemicals can go into the system by three main routes. One through the skin, either through irritations or dry skin or it's a cracked skin or some sort of rashes or dermatitis, skin disease there. Then that's called topical. Mainly that is on the surface, means dealing with the surface of the skin there. Then another way of entry is eye contact through the eye. It's a burning hand happens to the eye, then sometimes irritation there or eye damage can occur like that. Then ingestion is another method. That means we are directly drinking. There's the irritated digestive tract that causes poisoning and even death can happen there. Then so the safety can be, so we use different PPE. PPE means personal protective equipment. Personnel protective equipment. That means for our individual, how we can protect from various aspects. This is called PPE control of the environmental impacts. That means how noise is controlled with the help of this noise. You can see on the right side there is a ear muff, and the small one is the ear plug there. And one day we have to use 2 to 3 ear plugs there, because when they get dirty we have to throw it out. We don't use repeated, and it is not transferable also there in the current situation. You know that it's a very high alarming situation. Sorry to tell that. And you use gloves or mittens. They call it mittens, same name for gloves. Then coverall or overall, and safety boots and ear plug or ear muff there. You can see some photographs. I would like to share some of the photographs from the field there. First, the oil and gas industries there. You can see a cross-like structure in the middle. That's a wellhead or a Christmas tree valve there. So it is called Christmas tree valve. So it's a continuation of this structure there that goes deep down the ground there. It goes around 1 to 2 kilometers there, and that's in one of the site there in Oman. It's called Fahud. There is a mother well there. They first identified the oil there. It was 4 kilometers. You don't believe? I don't believe. Also there, it is 4 kilometers of from that much depth. They'll pump the oil there, and there are different kinds of, the technology has gone to the forefront like that. They have different latest technology to pump there. They have submersible pumps there and nodding donkey pumps like that. I'll show the pictures there of nodding donkey there. This is the nodding donkey there. Nodding means just like our donkey is nodding like this. Always this pump is working like this. Once it is going down, it's applying the pressure. Then it comes up. It is pumping there, and connected to that pipeline that goes there over that. And there's a difference between pipeline. Do you know what's the difference between pipeline and flow line? I was not knowing this when I pipeline that is underground and flow line is above ground. So you can see a flow line there. So that's the nodding donkey pump. You see the different structures there, and you can see some brown colors there. There are spills there of oil there. And production completed, abandoned well. Once they have taken oil out of this, once they will call us consultants like that, and we have to do the closing report study there. And the big petroleum companies, they take the land as lease from government. They will extract the oil for 25 years, and they will keep all the records like that. Maybe they have, for example, they'll be 250 wells are drilled, then we have taken oil this much money, and that the data goes to the International Monetary Fund or like that. and the current ministry is there, and the government is keeping that data. They will give this to lease to another companies later. So this is the back reference will be there. Everything is documented there. So that's the importance of our EIA and environment management plan, etc. You see the flow line is disconnected here. That means the activity is done. The job is done. And wellhead and flow line, you can say enclosure is there. Sometimes the camels come and interfere with this. Sometimes they lick the oil there or like that. So anything could happen there. But nobody will fall into this well because this is all tightly enclosed there. And this is another one. Then this is a flare pit. That means, oh, I forgot to tell like that. So I will go back and so under the earth, it's oil, air, and water is mixed there. So they will separate these three things will be separated. Oil is separated, then water is separated, and they will hold the water in the evaporation pond there. You know what happens? The evaporation. When we heat the milk, the cream comes to the top and floats there. It's exactly the same way. So it is under sun. So it gets evaporated slowly. That produced water, they call it produced water. The the oil is it's lighter than the water. So the oil comes to the surface and floats there and gets evaporated there. And you can scoop it out. The skimming, it's called skimming mechanism, is also there. That produced water will go to their plant and they will do the skimming, just like I would do the milk skimming process there. So that is the water. So oil is separated, water is separated, and the gas. What they will do with the gas? The gas, they will flare it. So they will have a flare torch there. Always you can see what you call, there's a flare there, torch there. So that is the gas that is flared into the environment. So that contains sulfur dioxide and hydrogen sulfide may be there. Sulfur dioxide mostly. Hydrogen sulfide is sulfur dioxide is the main thing there. So sometimes it's very, we call it salty. Salty means acidic there. So corrosive structures there. The sulfur dioxide that joins with that, maybe it will go. Sulfuric acid can be formed there. Some cycles there, chemistry. So this is a flare pit there. So they will do some of the gas, they will do open flaring there. So at the side of this pit, one pipe opens there, and they will flare that into this. So that means burning the gas there. Nothing there, no buildings there. It's safe there. So this is after the flaring there. Once the flaring is finished, you can see some black color, some of the oil there, deposit there. You see the texture of the oil and see the lining there. The pond is lined there. That means it's HTP. It's a high grade there. Some good companies are making this, and there will be downstream of this, there will be monitoring wells there. Do you know how do you know the downstream there? I don't know. This is from the top. We can't see the flow of the water underground. You know that in the wells. We have the wells there now in India, and the wells, the water channels will be there. How do they flow that? Hydrogeologist's job there. They will do, and they will find it out there. There will be elevations there, and water will be flowing this direction. So there will be, in the upstream wells, the salinity will be lower, and the downstream well salinity will be higher due to the flow there, to the downstream flow there. So always this one water well will be upstream and one water will be the downstream. If the heavy metals and all these depicted higher in the downstream well, that means there will be potential and possible leak there. So they have to check the liner, and the ministry will be inspecting that liner. That's welding has some corrupt or any problem with your welding. That we can imagine. So this is a lined water pit. I told you about the produced water that is held in this ponds there. So this is ready for evaporation. They hold it for months there, and this produced water will be coming on and on. It will be, I mean, sometimes it will overflow. I will show some picture of the overflow there. Overflow is, ministry cannot tolerate the overflow. You see this black colored stuff there, that the hydrocarbon that has come up to the surface. You see something is dumped there, oil and water, everything there. This is a station where all the flow lines from all the wells, the flow lines, that means above ground pipes, they will join here. It's called satellite manifold. You see some of the water there. It is due to the overproduction of the produced water. So we will ask them, the companies, how much you have produced water, how much gallons of water you produce every month there. So, and they have to give the report there. Sometimes some month is, the production is over. They have to increase the treatment capacity, or somehow they need to control this. So that's why they are monitoring the amount there, or the dike or bund, they have to heighten this that one. So these are the environmental control measures there. So we write all the we consultants, we write this environmental management system, all these reports. See, it is the spill there, you can see there, it is not encouraged and tolerated. This is our picture there, and on the left side, that's my colleague there, and I'm standing on the right side with the in front of the oil rig in the background there. Oil rig is some 56 days job there. They will put the oil rig, it's continuously working there. Once they put the rig there, the hoist there, they will go and connect the Christmas tree valve there, and that is ready for pumping there. So that is it's a long process there before that's called rig site. You might have heard of petroleum rigs there in Kuwait and all these countries there. Now we discuss about tourism projects there. So this is a hotel. It's a big tourism project there. So it's elements there. So in the EIA, we'll write about this 6,000 seats. There's a convention auditorium. Now it's fully operational there in Oman, and it was there in 2010, I think. I think so. Yeah, and there will be 200 rooms depending on the aspect. So what's your project there? Details you will write here. There's an eco farm and entertainment, hotels, businesses like that. So this is the land use plan. In India also, if you do the EIA, we have to. So even though there is quite a lot of difference between the EIA process in other countries and also India, first of all, I felt difficulty in merging into the system there. But anyway, I was doing that, report review and some, collections, sampling like that I have gone there. So this is about land use pattern there. In this, you can see how much buildings there, where our buildings there and areas there. So such maps there, we have to put the geographical information system maps there, the land use, land cover, then your vegetation there of that area. Then in India, we have to give 10-kilometer radius, all the wells and all the water bodies you have to give, and you have to collect the water samples from there, and the analysis results also we have to give there. So this is the land breakup pattern. So for example, they have this much of land area existing there, and what is proposed there, and the total will be there. Any changes there. And for your information, I am telling in India, any company or a paint company or doesn't matter, any company they have to a commitment for the government. Suppose if I have 100 acres for company, and I have to make a green belt of 33 acres. That means 33% must be green belt surrounding or inside or whatever, maybe whatever the plants, maybe neem trees or different. Chennai, when I was working there, I surveyed different plants like that, Dalbergia, or different than big plants like that yellow bloom tree. I forgot the name. Yeah, we were doing the biodiversity survey there. All the tree countings. I was doing the Asian paints, the survey there. I've gone inside Asian paints, the plant there, and did the survey there. So anyway, 33% of green belt you have to maintain there. That's a commitment there. Minimum 33%. More is okay. Then proposed development site for Muscat City Hotel. It will come like this. The very good city there, and you have to give all the plans. How your transport plans. How do you do your stormwater management? Do you know what is stormwater? Stormwater is the water, the rainwater that comes through gets into your plant or into your project site and escape from your project site there. So that collects all the debris, all the hazardous waste, whatever is there, blah blah, from your site, and you will contribute this to the adjoining village or the people there. So this is our project site on the left side. This is Romani. There's a field assistant there on the right side. Also my project manager, and I am standing on the right side. You can see the fully protected coverall there, and that is the air quality meter in operation in a tourism. I think it's a tourism project. Development of Asian Beach Games. Second Asian Beach Games was held in Muscat, and that was in 2010. I think so. Yeah. Yeah, and so this is the breakwater construction process going on there, and the beach hotel development, all are operational now. Everything is. And apartments development, then marina development. You can see the breakwater there, where the ship comes there, and that is under construction there. Construction works, all this. Then you see the person who is sitting there, and my friend he is taking the smoke emission measurements during the constructions there. All of them are doing the same thing. And the last one is bioremediation. So I'm not an expert in bioremediation, but something I can share. What is bioremediation? You all better know this engineers about bioremediation. So it's any process that uses decomposers and green plants or their enzymes to improve the condition of contaminated environments. So some technology is utilized to give a solution for the management of this, for the tackling problems there they are addressed with this. So mostly bacteria and along with other organisms can be used to clean up the oil spills. Some references I have there, but not much of the work is going on there. Some pilot scale works, then research institute works are also there. But in my experience, no petroleum companies are trying this. They are not doing this anyway because I don't know what's the reason why there. Some bio sludge you will get there. That means petroleum contaminated water and water in oil mixture there. So if some process or like some microbial treatment, some pilots, some of the universities are doing. While I was working in Saudi Arabia, there's one King Khalid University of Petroleum Minerals. They have been doing lots of studies there in that. But because they are number one producer, almost like that. But now this oil is under problem there. They are not having the enough. They are not fixing prices there. So there's a microbial consortium is used. That means a mix of different microbes that include some of the references I got there. Pseudomonas aeruginosa, Candida albicans. It's a fungus, I think. Then Aspergillus flowers. I think you biotech people they know better than me. And Fusarium species are used for the bioremediation of the polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. That means PAH. It's a kind of, we have PAH, then petroleum hydrocarbons, they are divided into aromatic hydrocarbons, then I forgot that. Different kinds of chemistry people will know this. Maybe you know better than me, we can discuss that one. And so this important benzopyrene is one of the significantly carcinogen from the it's a kind of polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbon pH. So this benzopyrene, you don't believe, it is found in cigarette smoke, same benzoapyrene. And when you fry the fish, and if you use the oil more than twice or thrice, the same benzopyrene that accumulates in the oil. So please avoid that. Right? So that's a benzopyrene's history. So these benzopyrene, and so that is present in these sediments or in soil like this, and also in our oil and gasoline, or gasoline is petrol, or diesel contaminated soil. So it may be either contaminated with pH type of hydrocarbons or other families of hydrocarbons there. So there may be specific bacteria that will cut the chains of the oils. I'm not a specialist for that, But it's very easy to tell like that, but they will do some process like that because they'll break the chains and makes it easy for the oil to break that. I will tell you a simple example. When you heat the oil, the frying pan, after this frying the fish or something there, you take and look into it. There's lots of oil there. Then we put under this tap with cold water, it takes time for removal. Or if you put soap, it's easy. Or if you turn your tap to the other side to get the warm water or even hot water, then what happens that oil that is quickly it's quickly melting there and it breaks. Sorry, somebody's calling. Is Dr. Maslamani? Dr. Maslamani is, I got a call.
Yeah.
Is it okay to
Yes,
continue?
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So the simple example is like that. So this one, if you apply heat, that oil is broken into chains, into short chains like that. It's a long chain, like our fatty acids. These hydrocarbons is also, they are very long chains, and so they can break with the help of this heat. So if you apply warm water, so plus this microbial consortium, so they are using other research. I will tell you in the next slide that one. Yeah, because plus heat plus this microbial consortium plus something else they are using. I will tell you that after. So we are I'm going to talk about this bioremediation of oil spills. The oil spills in the ocean have severe negative effects on the marine life. You know this, right? Especially, how they are chalked, seabirds and filter feeders. Filter feeders are very delicate ones. They are gills, clams and all these, and other filter feeding animals like that. Maybe this, I don't know, the gills they are having, the sardines and all these fishes. They take in the water, they gulp the water, and they throw the water out. There are blue whales and also there. So the oil comes to the surface. It mostly comes to the surface, and when there's a big oil spills there, that due to the weight of there, it becomes tar balls and it settles down this ocean there. Then that is lost if it goes to that the tar balls. If it is in the surface, okay, it's all when this oil spill happens, it will be wider. Then it goes on tapering. Then it comes to the surface because oil is less weight, comes to the surface and it becomes null, and it becomes feeble or nothing else at all. So it's like a filament or a layer there. So during that time, it chokes n number of animals, including seabirds and filter feeders. Then seabirds such as seagulls and ducks, they say spend most of their life on water. So presently, I'm in Canada, so they have a separate conservation project for this Canadian duck. There's a flying duck there, so you know that you will surprise that they will fly kilometers, means 2,500 nearly kilometers non-stop flight from western side of Canada to the eastern side and back, something like that. So, and there are various measures because there's winter there. During the winter time, they have some people have put some bird nests to protect them. They get there anyway. There are lots of measures there. If you can contribute some of the no, if the people are contributing to this there. If you put contributing that to the such organizations, and we will get tax deduction for that. Also there, at least 15% tax deduction. That's a good thing. Then seabirds like seagulls and ducks, and most of the marine life on water, they go to the land only during the nesting period. So, for example, turtles and some birds, they go to the land there. And if there is oil spill, what happens there? What happens? The feathers will be, sorry, the feathers of many seabirds are wettable. That means they can be dipped in the oil and they stick together and they will be heavy. So, and must be carefully preened. Preening means the cleaning process. The birds are, they have put some oil there. They have some sort of cleaning oil there, and they always licking and do that preening process there. So they can't do this process for the flight. It's very difficult. The feathers become very heavy. So they come into contact with the oil. The seabird, what happens? It ingests the oil. It is trying to get rid of the oil. Suppose if your legs or hands are tied together, you try to get rid of that, like that way. So it ingests the oil while trying to preen there. Then regarding the filter feeders like clams and oysters, they take in the surface water. Take in means they engulf. They drink the surface water through their gills and they filter it, and they they take out any microscopic or planktonic food there. Mostly they are eating that. So that is also contaminated with this oil and is nearly inaccessible. If there is oil on the water, it gets concentrated within these shellfish and then accumulates in their predators in a higher concentration. That means the food chain transfer. Answer is very simple. It goes to the food chain in then biomagnification and all these things. So shellfishes, they accumulate this mostly bacteria, contaminants, like that. And for that, if we catch clams and all, we have to put 24 hours some process like depuration to get rid of this. So we studied somehow earlier. And in simple, there is a simple demonstration. You may know this. I got from YouTube this one. So there is a simple demonstration of oil spill cleanup by the microbes. In this simple demonstration, they use the soap to mimic that bioremediation. So we are not using the bacterial mixture. In this, they will use the soap to minimize the area of surface covered by the oil. There they are using the surfactants. They call surfactants. Okay, and they will use some other structures also. I will tell you about that in this. So surfactants means basically the soap, the detergent kind of. These detergents, they will break the chains like that. So uh, and oceanic oil spills are managed using the containment methods. So for example, there's a big oil spill there. They will deploy the teams there. They will have different, I have been part of one of the oil spill there. There's a block valve of that petroleum company block, and we have gone there. You don't believe, my guys. There's big trenches of oil there. Every day the oil comes there, comes there, comes there from that. They leaked there, and they lost lots of oil there. And they were hiding this information because they don't want others to show this, because it's a shame for them, like that, no? And we are doing this cleaning, purging process there, and we use some kind of structures called booms. I will talk about that. So the ocean, there's oil spill there. They will contain this oil. That means they have to enclose this oil spill somehow or better by means of some floating structures like adsorption, not absorption, adsorption. We use adsorbent pads or booms, like big python like uh, like snake-like structures. There are white color booms there, and that booms, they can be floating on the surface there, and they will put it there like an enclosure there. They will adsorb that. Sorry, that means they stick onto the surface. That's called adsorption. And plus this containment and bioremediation. Bioremediation in the form of adding the bacteria to the oil to speed up the breakdown process there. So this together with this containment plus the bacterial consortium. So then the oil can be easily split up, and there can be, resolved the problem. So in the oil spill cleanup, they use another thing that's called coarse. Coarse means rough. Oil this is absorbing polymer grains. So that is, here comes the importance of this biotechnology. Some of the polymer grains are used to gather the oil and remove the same. They put some coarse materials there. So what is the objective? So by the simple demonstration, they will outline the effect of oil spills, and you describe a simple bioremediation strategy. So what are the materials you require? You can do at home there. Everybody, for children, they do scientific projects there also there. You need a large glass bowl, then water, then vegetable oil to mimic the oil, then cocoa powder, then 3 feathers you have to keep, preferably seagulls. So seagulls are better, you can explain, because they are more prone to this oil pollution. Seagull feathers. Then 1 container of dishwash soap labeled fake bacterial solution, something like that. Simply the dishwash soap. And the key question, that means, how do the oil spills harm the environment and the seabirds by this demonstration? So what you have to do, the experiment 1 to 9. First, you have to add water to the glass bowl. Then one person will come and dip 1 feather into the water. Water means there is no oil. Then you have to take out the feather and observe the feather. Is it wettable or does it stay dry, like that? So it is a little wettable and it may dry because of the oily content on top of the feather, like that. Then another person will come and mix some cocoa powder and vegetable oil in a cup to make an oil slick. So why use cocoa powder? To make an oil slick. When the big fishes ground, we use the term grounding. Grounding means the bottom of the ship touches the ground. That's called grounding. And big flow of, you don't believe, that flows there into we have Exxon Valdez and big oil spills in the history of the world there. They kill lots of marine life there. So we use cocoa powder plus vegetable oil, and to make an oil slick, then gently pour the oil slick onto the surface of the water there. So it will remain there. Then have 1 student or 1 person, they dip a fresh feather into that. The first person dipped in fresh water. Now he is dipping into this oil slick there. So what happens? Observe the surface of the feather and compare it to the previous feather that was dipped in plain water. Then you have to discuss whether a seabird could fly in this from this oil covered feathers. What do you think? Then what do you have to do? Then now this oil slick covered water is there. You have to add 1 or 2 drops of bacterial solution. That means your dishwasher soap, to disperse the oil. If you put the soap, what happens? Your hand is greased. You come with a workshop mechanic, will come with, and he applies the soap. What happens? It will breaks there, like that. Or a paint, you apply the kerosene to that, it breaks like that, no? So and 1 student will come and dip the feather into the bioremediated water. So this is the bioremediated water. For example, the bacterial solution, for example, our fake soap solution, bioremediated water. And you have to observe the surface of the feather now and compare to the other 2 feathers there, 1 in plain water, 1 in oil slick, and last one in the bioremediated water. Did this feather come out clean, like that? Okay, I have some of the videos like that in so This is from, but the thing is that I did not share this. Is it Dr. Maslamani? Can I share that also now? One second.
Sir, we are actually running out of time.
Oh, okay. No problem.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it's okay.
Anyway,
No,
yeah, the
no
link is
problem.
there,
Yeah,
sir. We can
yeah.
share the link with the participants, sir.
Yeah, the link is there. They can see it. You can see the comfort of your home. Then, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for yeah. This is, I think, this is almost some other bioremediation like that. I can simply tell this. Some of the crab and prawn shells are used to treat heavy metals in pollution. Then composite fibers like banana fibers are used in making durable materials. Then now, currently, the shredded recycled plastic that is used for making disposable face masks and face shields. Then reed grass is used for treating the sewage or wastewater or a septic tank waste there also there. And some of the references they have there. That's all. Thank you very much for hearing me. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for that
Thank you.
elaborate lecture, and hope the participants enjoyed the lecture. They have a few questions, sir, because we have run out of time. I just like to post at least 2 questions.
Okay.
In India, we have faced
Yeah.
major problems of plastic for environmental pollution. Uh,
Yes. Yeah.
the
Yeah.
participant wants to know what is the situation in Canada and what is the role of EIA to avoid plastic pollution.
Yeah. Okay. Here, you don't believe like that. No plastics and no waste are thrown anywhere here. You will be fined with a heavy penalty there. If any of the residents or any citizens see this, they will call the police and they will tell like that. We have another one. If you buy milk like that, no, that bottle they will take one charge there, and you can give to there's a SAR can there. That
Okay.
means Saskatchewan, Canada Recycling Center there. If you
Okay.
go there, you'll get that money there. So I'm recycling that one, like your Pepsi bottles and all this. They recycle that. So no plastic is thrown away anywhere here. We have some plastic bag. Then due to COVID time, now there is no plastic. Only few stores like our Lulu and all this, they are selling the plastics, but nowhere is But and they are also doing that mainly this recycling and shredding the plastic and making together like HDP and different plastics together like that. What they will do, you see, there's one company you might have heard of, Walmart. It's the world's largest. It's a US based firm. You know what they are doing? The plastic bottle, they are crushing the bottles and they are making the shopping bag. Yeah. So
Okay.
that's a good thing. Yeah. Yep.
Sir,
Yeah.
the other question is whether chitin and chitosan can be used for removing oil spills.
I'm not sure because chitin and chitosan they have N-acetyl glucosamine.
Yes.
That compound is there, and we have wider applications in medical science like that. Surgical sutures can be made with that, and I am not sure whether it can be used or have you. I might look into this. We can. That's a good question. In fact, yeah,
Okay, sir.
it can be because you have lots of shells there from the troll fishes. In fact, my PhD thesis was also in troll fishing like that waste utilization from squilla like that. Yeah, and that's a good question. In fact, yeah. Mm,
Yes, sir.
yeah.
So thank you, sir. There are a few more questions, and many
Yes.
participants have claimed that it is a wonderful
Okay.
session, and they have
Yes.
enjoyed the
Yes.
session very much.
Good.
Thank you
Okay.
for
Yeah.
a wonderful session,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Okay.
hope you're safe.
Yep.
And
Yep.
to all the
Yeah. Sure.
participants also, be safe.
Yep.
Thank you,
Okay.
sir.
And
Thank you for the wonderful
yeah.
session,
Thank you.
sir.
Yeah. Sure. Okay. I would like to extend my gratitude for having this wonderful opportunity, Dr. Ramesh
Yes, sir.
and Dr. Maslamani, for this session. Thank you, one and all,
Thank you, sir.
everybody.
Thank you for your
Yeah.
time, sir.
We should stay safe there. Have a good day.
Yes,
Stay
sir.
safe. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Thomas.
Yeah.
It's
Yes,
a
my
very
colleague,
nice
Dr.
presentation.
Maslamani. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you very much, sir.
Yes. Okay. Nice to meet
To
you.
all the
Thank you.
participants, thank you for joining. Tomorrow
Yes.
we'll have the session by 3 o'clock as usual. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.